Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is replay two because
Take two.
take two, take two, take two. We have with us, of course, the wonderful Mary Ellen, who is the co-contributor to the YouTube channel. Um, we are going to talk about some comments. I want to know what's going on in your life, like we don't talk. We're going to talk about my headset issue.
That had me thinking I needed to spend hundreds of dollars to fix our audio in my car.
Yeah. Okay. So Miss Mary Ellen, Courtney Summerhays from the Facebook group on the channel from the last video. Oh my God, I need Mary Ellen's rebuttal kahunas. I'm such a blunt person, but suck at rebuttals. I would love to find some 1099 for something veteran. Sorry, just heard VFW while typing. Laugh out loud. Okay, so who did the coffee that was looking for veteran families?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was through Live Ops because I looked at it and read it, and that was
Mhm,
the only one I was on at the time because I'm also on Next Rep, but Next Rep you can't see that. It may have been Next Rep, but I also know that they weren't going to be hiring very many.
mhm,
My suggestion would be do a Google search of veteran owned companies
mhm,
and then go to those, go to their career section or
mhm.
join the team section and search for remote.
Absolutely. And if they want to do something as far as fundraising, because we have great video, would you guys have a list of the fundraising sites or donations? What's going on in that area?
Okay, so for fundraising, for many things, including different veteran things, there is ACD Direct and um, Shift Off has cars, which does, they take in for thousands of various, and many of those are that I think that's what VFW maybe I was talking about
Yeah, I think it
cars.
was. I think it was with cars. So let me ask you this. What's the, can you lower your, um, because you were like right here, Mary Ellen.
That
There you go.
better?
Yeah. Because I was seeing like, there you go, much better.
Okay, y'all, I'm
Um,
propped up in the bed due to weather and the possibility of losing electricity. We lost it last night. 5,000 of us in this county, and it affected two other counties. Don't know how many of those because a snake crawled up into a breaker box where they have these huge breakers at the substation, and apparently he was long enough that he connected. He became the breaker and shorted it out.
oh my goodness. So let me ask you this. What is ACD about? What have you heard about that company?
Okay, ACD, I have worked for them. It is all um donations. They're calling in to make donations. Usually your best times are when they're doing the little marathons
Hmm?
on TV or the radio asking for money, and it's PBS.
Uh-huh.
There are three ministries that I don't remember. They're St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
So NPR?
NPR is part of PBS.
Oh, okay.
But it will come in separate. So, and several of the veteran,
Mhm.
I know they have disabled American veterans comes through there. I don't remember all of them. There were a lot.
Yeah. So with AC Direct, people are worried about it being talk time. What's your feeling about that?
Talk time, you can make more money doing it being paid by talk time a minute
Mhm,
if you're on a busy line.
mhm,
Um, and also during those times when they really need you to come in over at AC Direct, such as the marathons or whatever they call them now. Y'all, I'm old. I remember the muscular dystrophy marathons.
mhm.
Um, they give you a guaranteed amount. So say you it's $7 for this 30 minutes. If you make less than $7, you're going to get $7. But if you make more than $7 by the talk time minute, you're going to get the bigger amount.
Absolutely. And for when things are a little tight financially, is
ACD will let you borrow part of what you've got coming to you on the next payday. So if you've worked 2 days, they'll let you borrow a certain percentage. I don't remember what it was. There's a little fee and there's no third party involved. You just log in, say, I need to borrow against this. They tell you how much you can get. You tell them how much of that you want, and they send it to you.
absolutely. Okay, Melanie, Becky, I'm on SSD as well. Isn't there a way we can make some money and not lose our disability? There is. It depends on whether that position is going to be 1099, which you're allowed to do 45 hours per month, or W-2, which is done by the amount of SGA for that year.
And
It
that goes for SSD or SSI, either one. The amounts are different. There's different guidelines. So if anybody has questions about that, get in touch with Becky, please.
Yeah. Or your local social security office, vocational rehabilitation. There's ways to protect your check, trial work periods, and things like that, and we'll discuss it. Flex agent. I swear we'll do a video this fall, will we not, Miss Mary Ellen?
Yes, I think it's good to kind of wait. Let's give them time to get their stuff back together. Great business model
Hmm.
from our side as agents. They just had one client.
And that's all we can say about that
Yeah, let me just leave it at that.
because we don't want take three.
And no, y'all pray for my tonsils. They're already getting rough. Um, and I think if we let them get closer to being ready to come back out, we will have access to more information. And that's what you need is that information.
Yeah, we'll have the tea. I promise you, we'll we'll be like, hey, by the way, y'all come to the video.
Yeah, and we're not going to be swirling the cup and reading the tea leaves. We're going to have the
No.
tea.
Yeah, we're gonna have that tea. Now, Miss Mary Ellen, let's talk about the mess up today and yesterday and the day before. Uh, did I have you almost spending some money?
Yeah, she kept telling me, well, it's just crackling. I can't hear you. You're breaking up. And I'm thinking, at first, I'm thinking it's the weather. But then today I get in the car and I'm going to talk to her until I can't. And it's even worse. And I'm thinking, okay, I just bought this car. Am I going to have to get a new stereo, a new Bluetooth system? It was Becky's headset frying.
So this is the new headset, which is not as comfortable, but the sound is better and clearer, do you think?
Yes.
So this is the point. Now, I also moved my room air conditioner around, um, and messed up my Ethernet cord in the middle of a Cambly. And while Cambly can be done by Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi sucks without an Ethernet cord. My internet connection sucks. So I lost out on some money not being able to figure out it was the Ethernet cord. So, Miss Marilyn, how important is it to have backup items?
It is extremely important. You can get kicked out of a certification. Um, if you can lose time from work. And I get it when you first start, you may not can afford a backup. I had a teenage grandson living with me. My computer, my hard drive literally melted.
Yeah.
Melted. I got on my phone and I made give me 30 minutes. I run downstairs, grabbed his computer, pulled the wires off the back of it, come upstairs, pulled the wires off the back of my computer, sat his down, plugged everything back up, logged back in, and clocked back in.
Mhm.
Um, you can get cheap backups. You can go to Goodwill, um, Walmart, on ONN brand.
Mhm.
They're good. They Dollar General. There is a Dollar General every 2 freaking miles, y'all.
Yeah.
Go to Dollar General and instead of getting a $2 bag of chips or a $2 candy bar,
Soda.
grab an extra Ethernet cord. Next time, grab an extra mouse. Next time, grab an extra headset. I have used Dollar General headsets. Everything but computers. They don't sell computers. I have a set of earbuds that I paid $5 for. They're now 10. I looked at them today. I paid $5 for the about 5 years ago at Dollar General. They are still perfectly fine. I still use them other than I don't like stuff stuck in my ear anymore.
Yeah.
Um the point being have a backup to the backup.
Yeah. Because we've been in Facebook work from home groups, and how many times has it been they're sending the computer, but this cord didn't show up? They sent the computer, there's no headset. Oh, it's coming in, I ordered it, but they lose their job.
More times than I can count.
Yeah. And listen, we're not trying to break the bank. You
No.
know, we're broke.
I have grabbed the
So,
I went and in the middle of the night took one of my older grandsons with me and got two TVs that
mhm,
were flat screen for $25.
mhm,
Him and my grandson got to talking about cars.
mhm,
I ended up getting both of them for $10. All he done was bought new TVs for the children.
yeah.
And I used those, one of them for a monitor for months. And then I got my first two 27-inch monitors came off Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. But say they want to spend for some quality. Do you have those links that'll be in today's video?
Yes, I will get you some links. They'll be below the video. We're going to add in links under the videos to the Facebook page, both of our blogs, and then some recommended products each time. And this week's is going to be products that you may want to get for everyday use or for backup.
And these products, they are tax deductible if used for work from home.
Yes, even if it's your backups, they're tax deductible.
Okay. Speaking of blogs, girl, I was looking at some
Jaquana.
Chaquana. Come on. What's going on since 2018? What's going on?
Well, Blogspot sent me an email saying that I needed to download all my stuff because um they were going belly up. That's my paraphrasing. But I'm in some of these testing things I do. I was testing an anonymous AI and I ran out of questions, so I said, "Give me a list of 10 free blog sites." Blogspot/blogger was one of them. I said, I thought they went belly up. And they said, no, they didn't. And give me this whole spiel, whatever. I went check. My blog is still there. I just need to revamp it. There's been a lot happen between 2018 and now.
Yeah. So when can we expect a revamp?
Give me a couple of weeks, y'all. I gotta kind of gotta reschedule. I'm gonna spend the rest of this evening canning before I lose some food, some vegetables in here. Um, and got a little bit of get a little bit busy. So, give me at least 2 weeks, maybe three.
Okay, so we're looking July. I'm gonna nail you down
Yeah,
to some first week in July.
we're hoping
Okay, okay. Well, let me ask you this, before or after July 4th?
after
Okay, so by the middle of July, how's that?
that works.
Okay. And let me ask you this, what does your blog, what is it going to touch on? Is it going to focus on anything? Is it an everyday thing? Is it work from home? Is it medical? Is it
It
health?
is a little bit of everything. It'll probably lean more towards work from home.
Mhm.
Organization is needed in every household, and your level of organization or your style of organization may not be mine, but we can bump ideas off of each other. There's going
Mhm.
to be a lot of work from home. There's going to be some cooking and recipes.
Mhm.
Um, there's already a sub blog at the top, and I may separate it into sub blogs to make it easier.
Mhm.
So the main blog is going to stay there, um, mainly as my thought of the day, true diary type thing,
Mhm.
and then there will probably be sub blogs for the other things.
Okay. Speaking of blogs, I found it in Blogspot. So I've got a challenge, and I just don't know what possessed me to throw it up there, but I was like, do it. I'm going to review 1,000 calls on Humanitic in a week.
Y'all, I was driving down the road when she told me this.
I thought
I
she was
didn't
going to
hands
wreck.
free.
I thought she was going to wreck.
I was going through Sawmill, Tennessee.
And she's like, are you going to write reviews? I'm like, no, they don't do that anymore. It's submit, click, submit, listen, click, submit. Just be accurate because they review them. Um, but we'll get into it.
So you review the call, then somebody reviews your review. How many levels of review do we get here?
Just one review after me. And it's not every call, it's just a smattering where I'm new and getting, my foot in the door. But yeah, and I can't say people ask how much money you make, how much this, how much that. I promise coming in, we'll do a video on Humanitic and other things. We'll do that. Speaking of that, is something happening this week extra? I think so. Maybe Miss Mary Ellen, or is there another video coming?
Oh, yeah. We're planning a surprise video
Yeah.
in the middle of the week, Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be like,
And it is probably going to be on using apps to make money. And where I'm going to concentrate on a couple of two. A, cou-
couple.
Y'all, my Southern grammar just came out. Um, it's going to be on two or three, but I'm also going to guide you into how to stack apps to how to stack to do things because I did that today.
Yeah,
Neither one of them was really worth going that far for, but when I stacked them together, along with stacking my errands I needed to run, it was worth it.
yeah. And maybe you'll have some more information on the R one,
Oh God, which R one? Because the R, when you said that, man, one went through my mind that's purple and
the new one,
I don't use very much.
the one we talk about, road E.
Oh, yeah, I described that one. I haven't took anything on that one yet because most of it's over in the big towns and um, it's just not gonna work for me.
Okay,
But it would work for people in closer to larger towns.
okay. So let's get into, we've done
It
our
also
little
doesn't
trailer.
work for me because of some of the weight restrictions I have medically.
That's true, but you can kind of give a general overview.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Mary Ellen, let's get into today's topic. Okay, this is not an election year, so why are people being employed as political surveyors?
Well, it's not a general election year, but I'm sure there are towns around that need mayors, counties and parishes that need mayors, neighborhoods that need representatives, school districts that need to elect school board members for whatever reason. Somebody holding office has passed away, and it's a lot of them have. The wife takes over, or the spouse takes it, that the spouse or the child takes over until the next election or the next few months until an election can be held. There's also other things that involve politics. There are bills being passed. There are ordinances, um, city, county, local ordinances. There are bills and acts that they want to know the public's opinion before they vote on them. Be a good citizen. Do not say, "Don't call me again." Why are you calling me? Answer the question. You sit here and go, "I don't know why my government representatives never represent me," because you don't let them know what you feel about the issue, so they vote the way the most people have told them to. You
Absolutely.
wasn't one of them. And it don't matter if you voted in the election or not, they still represent you. I
They
can
do.
remember when people went door to door
Mhm.
to do that.
So let me ask you this. Before we get into how to apply, what is a day in the life of a political surveyor? I mean, what does that look like?
Well, I checked the day before to
Mhm.
see if there's anything available, and if so, what's available. Now,
Mhm.
if they got something in the daytime, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, or if they got something, are they starting at 12, 1, 2, 3, and what the end time is. Then I have one. Some require you to go ahead and say, "Oh, I want to work this. I want to work all of this shift, or I want to work this part of that shift." Others are just, "This is what's available. Log in."
Mhm.
Um, all of them, most of them do ask that if you're going to log in, you work a minimum of
2 hours.
2 hours. Um, that to me, that's reasonable. And when you're first starting out, I'm telling you, mental health is important. Take a break. Take a break.
Yeah,
Or either don't work but 2 to 3, 4 hours.
absolutely. Now, are most of these companies, are they 1099? Are they W-2, or what's going on with that?
There's both. I have three. Now, LTS, let's take surveys. I don't work with them simply because they use Discord as their communication center. And I was born on Venus. That is bad enough. Discord, Discord itself was born 6 wormholes past Venus, past Pluto. It just doesn't work for me. But there are people over there working, making good money.
Mhm.
Um, their application process seems strange to people, but it works for them. You send them a text, or you fill out the form on their website. Then they send you a text. You answer the text,
Mhm.
and there's either one or two texts, and then you switch to email, and then they'll run you through the process and what to do and working. And I think a lot of theirs are where you're calling mainly about bills that are before Congress, and they ask you, how do you feel about this? And then you transfer the caller, if they're willing, to their either senator or congressional representative office, so they can either leave a voicemail or speak to a staffer and voice their opinions to directly to the office.
Cool. So let me ask you this. What's the hiring speed and process for these companies? Is
It
it
is
pretty
pretty
quick?
fast.
Mhm.
I've hired on three. I'm actively working two, and it's fast.
Yeah. So if I'm a new mother, if I'm somebody who just got out of a relationship and or maybe I haven't worked in a while, I was in school and need to pivot, is
If
this
you just
good?
got out of jail, this is it.
Yeah, because they it's a low barrier.
It is low barrier. I've never seen a background check because you're not handling people that kind of personal information for people.
Yeah.
You don't get their address. You don't get their credit card
Credit card. Yeah.
information. You don't get anything like that. Um, and it is an important part of how America runs. You don't have to sit down and write all those letters and send faxes and emails to your representatives. Answer the surveys when they come in.
Mhm. Okay.
Now, I am going to tell you this.
Hmm.
You're going to run into people that 2 words in, they're just automatic, especially older people. They've been scammed or they know somebody's been scammed, and they're just going to don't want to do the scam. Some people are going to be, I'm just so sick of it all. It doesn't make any difference. I am so, and they are, they're polite. I would say at least once a week, you're going to have somebody that their grandma is digging her way up out the grave to come smack that mouth.
There's that Southern.
My mama raised me. God don't like ugly.
Yeah,
You're gonna get one of those phone calls.
that's ugly.
Well, yeah, and you're gonna get hung up on a lot. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with they are busy.
Hmm.
They don't want people calling their phone.
Hmm.
They have, gotten too many Medicare that want to sell a Medicare Advantage to them
Hmm.
type phone calls. Um, don't take any of it personal, but
Yeah,
understand this is a vital part of how our governmental representatives know what we, the general public, want.
absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you this: what's the rate of pay? What's from what to what?
It is an average of $11 an hour.
Hmm.
You can get raises.
Hmm.
Showing up, being there, and doing it right. You've got a script in front of you.
Hmm.
Read it.
Yeah, it's read, duh, next,
Yep, and just
read,
click the answer to the question.
duh. Absolutely. So I've got some questions here. You answered the thing about the pay increases. Now, let me ask you this, because I want to kind of combine a couple of questions. Um, are there benefits if you want to do this full time? Is there a full-time possibility, or is this more of an on-call position?
It's a little bit of both. They are basically on-call positions.
Mhm.
There are going to be times they don't have hours to give you to work. Understand during that time they're not making money either.
Yeah.
Um, but it $11 an hour is a living wage for you. And let me explain something to you. $11 an hour
Mhm.
is better than not dollars an hour.
Yeah. Because I think the biggest pushback we've gotten in the group has been, oh, well, that's just $11. I'm like, but, and I always say this, do I not? What did that pay? What bill did that pay?
Exactly. Let's see. I can pay both my cell phone bills
Mhm.
with money left over on 5 hours.
Yeah.
I can pay my internet bill
Mhm.
5 hours and have $5 left over, $5 and five
Yeah.
cents left over.
So if I go through and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to do the minimum, Monday through Friday, 2 hours a day, $11 an hour, that's $440 a month. So what did that pay, Miss Mary Ellen?
Well, let's see. I bought my coffee and my half and half and my organic sugar.
Mhm.
I didn't go buy ice cream,
Mhm.
but I paid the electric bill.
Mhm.
I paid the water bill.
Mhm.
Next week I'm gonna make that and I'm gonna pay the car payment and the car insurance.
Mhm. And gas and cell phone.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
and I'm looking if I don't use a lot of gas.
mhm.
Um, yeah. I've sat here and only had to send people to pick up prescriptions for me for 8 months.
Yeah,
Um, I have a cramp in my foot.
it's okay.
Excuse me for just a second, because this is not going away. Um,
But it pays bills.
it pays bills. And while you are doing that, you can also be looking for other places and putting in applications.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. What is the minimum you can work and what is the maximum you can work per week?
The minimum per week, it can be zero. I've only seen that when I had one,
Mhm.
only one, and it was right after the general election in November.
Mhm.
They just kind of let it, I don't know why, but there's a lot going on politically from the top to the very bottom.
Yeah,
Goes from November, an election, a general election in November until January to Inauguration Day. We didn't go that long, but it was sparse.
yeah,
Um, so you look at that as, oh, we're not have hours tomorrow. Let me see here. I am going to deep clean the refrigerator, and then I'm gonna make me a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever, and I'm gonna sit down and revamp my resume right quick.
yeah.
Then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk around the outside of the house two rounds and pick up trash that's blowed in off the road. Then I'm gonna come in, fix me another cup of coffee, and I'm gonna start looking for another job to submit to,
Or surveys
or
or
surveys, or apps.
yeah, micro tasks, gigs, Humanitic, phone surveys, just whatever. Or what you can do, just because one political company doesn't have work, doesn't mean you can't have two or three and be looking at all of them.
Right. I
Absolutely.
have three. Again, I've been accepted to LTS, but because of Discord being the communication center for them, it's just not going to work for me. So I've got CMG, which is California Marketing Group,
Mhm,
which is owned by Maybe, Mabie Marketing. They
mhm.
are 1099. They pay twice a month, and they want you to fill out a form, a Google survey form thing, Survey Monkey, whatever it is. I think it's Google form, and say, I'm going to work all of the shift tomorrow, or I'm going to work part of the shift tomorrow, or whatever, so they can kind of have an eye on what to do. Um, then I also just got accepted with KWCCS, and they are just a really fun loving group. Um, they tell you today what tonight, this evening, what hours they're going to have tomorrow. You don't have to tell them whether or not you're going to work. You just say, hey, I'm logging in. They ask that you work 2 hours,
Mhm.
which is reasonable. If you're going to come in, work for 2 hours. But if something happens, tell them.
Yeah.
If you're going to work more than 2 hours, you can take a paid, it's 10.99. You can take a paid 10-minute break every 2 hours. If you are going to work 6 hours,
Mhm.
you can stack your 10-minute breaks and take a paid 30-minute break.
Okay. So hang on there because I want to piggyback off something you just said. Now, say I've got a complicated family situation. Maybe I have a medically fragile child, an elderly parent I'm caring for. I want more than 2 hours, but I can't work like 4 hours in a row. It's got to be two here, two there, maybe three at the end. Is that okay?
That is okay with definitely with KCW, KWCCS, CMG. Let them know I'm gonna work the whole shift, but I need to clock out every 2 hours and go check on my mom or my dad or my uncle or my son,
Mhm.
and I'll be back in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, ever what it's going to take you.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And let me ask you this. While you were doing Intuit, What was going on with CMG?
I have no freaking idea what went on at CMG for 5 months.
But
When tax season was over, my summer extension was over, I went over there and clocked in
yeah,
and started working.
yeah. And this is a great job to have as a backup
Definitely.
because I do want to touch on this. Gig apps are great too as a backup, and they can certainly pay bills. But you need to, and I'm going to say this 50 billion times, diversify. If you're working a 1099 platform and your contract is pulled, the client leaves, the client's in a lawsuit with the state of something, and suddenly the platform doesn't have that contract anymore, or something goes on and you don't have they're not going to give you a heads up. And
A lot of times they can't give you a heads up. I see people get mad at the platform. Honey, they told you just as soon as they knew.
yeah,
They want to keep that contract too, because when that contract pulls out, that client pulls out, or that goes belly up or files a lawsuit or whatever, they lose money too. They got to go find another client to fill that slot.
yeah. Um, and that's happened a few times, these past couple of years. And we know things have been lean because you and I have looked on these platforms, looked to see if they got clients, and we're seeing some lean times, are we not?
We are.
This year, 2025 has been a lot worse than 2024, in my opinion. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are very desperate. And this is where having a low barrier employment, that doesn't mean it's bad employment. It's not. You are doing a service, I believe, for yourself and your country, not to sound overly patriotic, but it is a civil service that you're performing when you answer these surveys. Um, but this is a great way to make sure that your lights are on, the medicine is bought, the groceries are bought, anything, do you agree with me, Miss Mary Ellen, or
I do. I mean, you can work that and have an income, and you can make enough to pay the bills. You may have to work a little bit more. You're making
Mhm.
less money. Um, but you also need to stack. You
Yeah.
need to stack. It's just like today, I had intended to work one of my political surveying companies for 2 hours. Then I was going to work on getting vegetables prepped and could not find a chopper I needed. And if I done it by knife, it was just going to take too long. So I didn't even get started. I ordered one to pick up. So I had took a we go look the next county over.
Hmm.
I needed that chopper. So I ordered it, had it ready to pick up at Walmart. I went on other apps and found other gigs to, not mystery shopping, but inspection type gigs over there. I should have checked the mystery shopping apps and I didn't think about it until I was almost back. Um, and do that. And so I stacked my errands, more than one app gig, and I made money much more than my gas.
Yeah. And these do in a pinch. This is a great backup. Now, can you do this? Is this just short-term employment? Is this long-term?
I know of people who stack these things, and that's what they do all the time.
Yeah, that they don't have traditional employment. It's just stacking gigs, phone surveys, mystery shops,
Right.
and you can pay the bills this way.
I did for 2.5 months last,
Yeah.
towards the end of August on last year.
Yeah, because it was a sudden client withdrawal from the platform in your case.
Yes.
And they were just like, sorry. And you were upset for a quick minute, but then, like usual, you were like,
Yeah.
I am the hustle queen.
And it was surveys and two apps.
Yeah.
was the majority of it. And when I get sick of surveys and there wasn't more than one thing I could go do off of these apps, I was revamping the survey, looking for other jobs. And yes, take a job as long as it doesn't go against your morals and as long as it is legal.
Mm-hmm.
Do it until you can find something else. As my blessed mother used to say, it is easier to find a job when you've already got one.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. You're going to be going back to Intuit in December, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Because that is your bread and butter.
yes.
And we will be doing an Intuit video in the future. But for people who maybe, and again, we're going to reiterate this over and over. If you need a job, you need it yesterday. You have come into a family situation where it looks like, let me put it this way. I know it's aggravating and frustrating to talk to people who don't want to talk to you, and I get that. But if you're going to pay the bills, if you can be professional, if you can enunciate and say the names, and they'll give you a list of names and phonetic spellings and all that other stuff, correct, Miss Mary Ellen?
Most of them, yes.
Okay. This will put food on your table. This will. Now, not everybody likes it, but not everybody likes telemarketing. Not everybody likes sales. Not everybody likes any sort of outbound calling. And I get it, it's not for everybody. But if you need to pay bills, some days we have to put our big girl panties on, pick the pick the web phone. This is something I need to ask. You're not downloading any software, are you, on these?
No, I'm not for any of the political calling. I log into their dialer.
Okay, so it's easy. So let me ask you this. Do I need a fancy laptop?
No, this is one of those where you can get started if you've got 8 gigs of RAM,
Mhm.
um, and at least an i5 processor.
Okay.
You can go ahead and get started. And if you happen to be still be a two income, you can start putting a little bit aside to step up. It has taken me decades, at least one decade and part of another one, to be to the point I'm at now, to where I have a 32 gig RAM computer
Mhm.
with a terabyte hard drive
Mhm.
sitting over there ready to hook up. And it just hit me the other day that I wanted to leave both desktops hooked up and have the possibility of doing the laptop.
Mhm.
The weather and the snake who wanted to feel electricity um kind of pushed me into transferring stuff. You'll see my organization. I have bukus of Google Chrome profiles, one for each one. I'm working on something. All I'm seeing is the links and things for that
Yeah.
gig, that job while I'm in. I don't have those distractions.
Mhm.
And they don't have emails. I don't log into them. So I have to manually transfer them from the desktop to the laptop.
Okay.
And I
Speak,
did that today.
let's talk about the pros and cons of political surveying for the person making the calls.
Okay. You cannot take it personal that you're going to get hung up on.
Mhm.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. They don't want to hear the phone ring anymore. Um, they just got in from work and they are trying to put their feet up and drink a glass of sweet tea. Don't come between us Southerners and that evening glass of sweet tea. Um, unless you're a child or an elderly person. Um, they just nicked their hand
Yeah.
in the kitchen cutting onions. They just, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal. Just this poet and get that next call.
Mhm.
Um, they may say very politely, I have give up on voicing my opinion. It doesn't make any difference.
Mhm.
I am so sorry you feel that way. Are you really sure you don't want to at least try one more time? No, then hang up and move on to the next call.
Mhm.
Um, I would say once every week or two, you are going to get somebody that needs a bar of ivory soap scraped across their teeth. And that grandma is digging their way up at the grave to come do it. Let grandma take care of it. Hang the phone up.
Yeah. And if I get a bad call, like I'm upset, I feel like overwhelmed, I can just add, hey, listen, I need 10 minutes to the supervisor.
Yeah, that was a really bad call, guys. Um, I need a minute.
And I want to go back to pay for real quick. I know we're getting ready to wrap up. We've been on here forever. Um,
It's because we
let
had to do two takes.
I know that was my bad. Um, let me ask you this. You stack the political survey companies like you stack gigs. How often are you getting paid overall? Are you seeing a check every week, every 2 weeks, semi-monthly?
I'm gonna have to double check, but one of them pays every 2 weeks for the previous 14 days. The other one pays twice a month, and I have not added those to my calendar. Basically, CMG was just extra for me
Mhm.
for so long. And y'all, I had a fallback. I've been working everything that come out on CMG that my mental health would take at the moment, be that 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, um, and doing surveys.
Mhm.
And so I had a fallback. I haven't missed a bill.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that if I had children in the house, it would be easy. I've done it with six children aged 12 to
25.
18 months in the house.
Hmm.
If they were homeschooled, their two little ones
Hmm.
were, I'm going to, I got upset one time. They used to ask me at church, is he a good baby? And I finally asked the lady that I was kind of close to, what do y'all mean when you ask me that? If you put him in the crib, will he lay there and be quiet until you get finished with what you're doing and come back? Yes. Not all babies are going to do that. Believe me, out of 10, not all of my babies would do that. I've got some that when they were 2, 3 years old, I could not have worked from home. I've got others that from day one, I could have worked from home.
Hmm.
Um, it's going to vary. You've got to add those variables in. Every family is different. Every child, spouse, um, loved one that you are taking care of is different. They have different needs. You have different needs.
Hmm.
I am going to tell you this, no matter how bad it gets, I want you to take 5 minutes twice a day, every single day for you. Mine in the morning
Hmm.
is something to drink, be it ice water, tea, whatever, coffee, whatever it is I want right then. I take my morning medicine and then I sit here and just clear my head, wiggle my back around,
Hmm.
and then I decide, okay, it's time to start trying to get up and get my bones moving. Then later in the afternoon, early evening, maybe just before you fix supper, or just after supper's finished, take 5 more minutes for you. Go in the bathroom and shut the door if you have to.
Yeah.
Cut the
So,
fan on, light a candle, burn a piece of toilet paper, light a match, whatever to make them think you need to be left alone. Um, if your cup is empty,
Mhm.
you cannot pour anything out of an empty cup,
Yeah.
even if you are by yourself. I live alone right now.
Hmm.
Um, I still have to take time for myself.
Yeah.
5 minutes, twice a day, bare minimum.
Absolutely. And I do self-care journaling. I've got my oils and candles and walking and notes and thousand calls of humanity to do this week and a lot of stuff. So let's wrap it up a little bit because we've been on this take a little over an hour. Um, so let's wrap up political surveying. You know, I want to be encouraging of people to try something new to get out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of things that if you're in a pinch, like if you know you've got 3 weeks and your rent is not going to be made, you can have a check from political surveying before that rent's due. Yes, Mary Ellen?
Yes,
And you can choose when to work. You know, I if say for example, we're at it's today's the 15th, but say it was the 9th. And I'm like, Mary Ellen, he lost his job. I lost my check. Bills are due. And she would tell me, well, girl, did you log in and get them shifts? Click, log in, get some shifts. Within a few days, you could be working, trained, and everything else. Training is only one time for what, 2 to 4 hours?
correct.
And you work the same day.
Yes,
And training is paid.
yes. Even not with LTS, but with the other two, one being 1099, one being W-2, I was paid for training. I was required to work the rest of that day. You get it in your head and fast in 4 hours, sit there, pound it in so it becomes muscle memory, your brain being the muscle. And I fully understand that. Um, and then you've got, let's round it off to $10 an hour. It's 11 start everywhere it, but let's round it for 10, easy number to work with. That was 8 hours, $80 in a day.
Yep.
Now, if you want to make $200 a day,
Hmm.
go buy you some leather and buy you some tools and go hit a construction site
Yeah.
and know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I can hook you up with that too.
Yeah. But talking about $200 or $180 in a day, you've done that
I have with an app.
with an app. And I think we're going to have some questions about that money making venture that you had. And that happened right after a fallback.
Yes,
Okay. Well, political surveying came in a pinch after a fallback again.
yes,
And it's happened to me. I've, let me tell you something. Even though I have my disability check, it doesn't always stretch to everything that I want and need. So I do a little of this, a little of that, a little of this. Still trying to figure it out because of AI, and we will have a discussion about AI at some point, how that's rooting out jobs. But political surveying is a job that a lot of people aren't going to talk to a computer.
no, they're not.
So that's a pretty safe piece of employment that's low barrier, pays well, hires on quickly. Now, there are some cultural norms that do not allow that as an employment option. If it doesn't, I understand there's plenty of gigs. Next video we will discuss options. But if this is allowable under your cultural, religious, societal norms, you're here in the US, because this is for US residents, correct? You do have to be a US
Yes,
resident.
yes,
Um, then this is a great way to put money in your pocket to do savings. Now, honestly, that would pay medical bills, that would buy a good Christmas, that would pay going back to school.
If you have a regular job that is paying your bills,
Hmm.
but you don't have your emergency fund,
Hmm.
it's how you can fund that emergency fund.
Yeah. Now, CMG has on call for just weekends, correct?
They do have a position that is just weekends.
Hmm.
They have a position that is all 7 days if if whatever's available during that 7 days. Um, KWCCS, they're requiring 20 hours Monday through Friday. If you work your 20 hours Monday through Friday minimum, you can get a shift differential working on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. So there, you're not stuck at $11 is the general theme of things.
Right.
Now, like after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, can I get more money?
With some of them, yes. CMG does have the ability to promote. Every one of our managers on duty, team supervisors is what they call them, was in our position at one time.
Yeah.
And my daddy always told me, as a manager or an owner, you do not ask an employee or worker to do anything you are not willing to do yourself. I have watched my daddy in a three-piece suit take the garbage out from the dishwasher, the nasty garbage where they're scraping the dishes from the restaurant out and pick it up, put it in the dumpster. That's what was instilled with me. And CMG and KWCCS show that to me. They have done this. They know what we're doing. They know what it's like for to have people hang up on you solid for 30 minutes. What that can do to you, and they're bright and they help you and whatnot. So that also tells me I can move up to those positions.
Yeah,
Where do you actually get promotions?
absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you all so much. You're going to see this video. You know what? Probably Monday morning. Does that sound okay that we publish it Monday morning? Because I still need to grab that information from you.
Yes, I need to get links to you. That sounds fine to me. That's when most people are watching anyway.
Okay. So when y'all see this, it'll be Monday morning. We have videoed it Sunday evening.
Oh,
Um,
forgot. We are working on a possible surprise video Wednesday or Thursday.
yes, where we're going to be talking the tea about certain money making things.
Mostly apps. So if you're interested in apps, y'all, and how to stack them and how to make money from them, be here for that's going to be the video for you.
Yeah. And let's reiterate, you can pay bills on just apps, no phone. When I hear no phone, I'm like, why aren't you doing apps? Can I not pay bills with apps, Miss
You can
Marilyn?
pay bills with apps. No, a lot of them are going. Most of them are going to require you have a vehicle.
Well, that's okay. All right, folks, thank you so much. I will see you later. Thank you. We will talk to you this Thursday or Wednesday.
Later, guys.